In 1975, a record label told the biggest band in Britain that their new song was commercial suicide. Too long, too weird, and completely unplayable on the radio. They were wrong. So wrong that the song became one of the best-selling singles in UK chart history, and it almost got buried in a drawer forever. This is Pop Chronicles, and these are 12 songs that changed music forever, by breaking every rule the industry swore could never be broken. Number 12. Bohemian Rhapsody, Queen, 1975. Freddie Mercury walked into EMI Records with a 6-minute song that had no chorus, just a ballad, an opera, and a wall of hard rock crammed into one track. His own bandmate, bassist John Deacon, privately worried it would be the worst career decision Queen ever made. EMI and the band's manager agreed it needed cutting down for radio. Mercury refused. So Queen slipped an early copy to their friend, DJ Kenny Everett, and asked him not to play it. Everett played it 14 times that weekend anyway. By Monday, record shops were flooded with calls for a song that hadn't even been released yet. EMI had no choice. Bohemian Rhapsody became the Christmas #1 and stayed at the top of the UK charts for 9 straight weeks. Nearly 50 years later, it's still one of the most streamed songs of the 20th century, proof that sometimes the unplayable song is the one the whole world was waiting for. Number 11. Dreams, Fleetwood Mac, 1977. While Fleetwood Mac recorded their album Rumors, every relationship inside the band was collapsing at once. 2 marriages ending, 1 long romance falling apart, all in the same studio. One afternoon, Stevie Nicks slipped away into an empty room that used to belong to Sly Stone. Velvet curtains, a sunken pit, a round bed. She sat down with a Fender Rhodes keyboard, hit record on a cassette player, and wrote the entire song in about 10 minutes. When she brought it back to the band, keyboardist Christine McVie thought it sounded thin and unfinished, just 3 chords. It took guitarist Lindsey Buckingham reshaping it into 3 distinct sections before anyone believed it had a future. That unfinished 10-minute song became Fleetwood Mac's only #1 hit in America, written about the man sitting a few feet away in the same room. Number 10. Girls Just Want to Have Fun, Cyndi Lauper, 1983. Here's something most fans don't know. This song wasn't written by a woman at all. Musician Robert Hazard wrote it in 1979, from the point of view of a guy who couldn't understand why women wouldn't just do what he wanted. When producer Rick Chertoff brought Cyndi Lauper to see Hazard perform it live, she hated it on the spot. She later said she felt like the lyrics reduced women's fun down to nothing but sex, and she flatly refused to record it. So Lauper did something bold. She sat down and rewrote the lyrics herself, line by line, flipping the entire perspective, turning a song about a man's frustration into an anthem about women's freedom. The result won her a Grammy nomination and a legendary MTV Video of the Year. And 40 years later, almost nobody remembers it started as a completely different song about a completely different person. Number 9. I Will Always Love You, Whitney Houston, 1992. With me, so good. Whitney Houston wasn't even supposed to sing this song. Her label wanted a Jimmy Ruffin cover for the Bodyguard soundtrack, until they realized another film had already used it, and the plan fell apart. Her co-star Kevin Costner had a different idea. He played her Linda Ronstadt's version of Dolly Parton's country ballad, I Will Always Love You, and insisted it belonged in the film, and that it needed to open with nothing but Whitney's voice, completely a cappella. Producer David Foster thought it was a terrible risk. How could radio embrace a pop ballad with almost a full minute of silence behind the vocal? Costner refused to budge. When Whitney finally recorded it, Foster said he knew instantly they'd captured something historic. Dolly Parton herself called in with one more addition, a missing third verse that Ronstadt's version had left out. That verse made it into the final recording, and the song became the best-selling single by a female artist in history. Number 8. Africa, Toto, 1982. Toto keyboardist David Paich had never set foot on the African continent when he wrote this song. Every image in it, Kilimanjaro, the Serengeti, the rains, came from a UNICEF commercial he'd seen, an old teacher's missionary stories, and a National Geographic spread. He wrote the entire chorus melody in about 10 minutes on a brand new synthesizer, and later admitted he was stunned by how easily it came together. But his own bandmates weren't convinced. Guitarist Steve Lukather openly questioned why a band from North Hollywood was singing about blessing the rains in Africa. The song barely made the final album. Drummer Jeff Porcaro reportedly considered saving it for a solo project instead, because it didn't sound like a Toto song at all. 10 months after release, Africa hit number 1, and decades later, it's one of the most streamed songs of the entire 20th century, still confusing new listeners with lyrics its own writer had never lived. Number 7. Don't Stop Believin', Journey, 1981. When Journey released this song in 1981, it barely cracked the top 10. Just another rock single that came and went. For 26 years, that's all it ever was. Then, in 2007, the producers of The Sopranos asked to use it over the show's final scene. Former lead singer Steve Perry had one condition before he'd approve it. He needed to know exactly how the episode ended, because he refused to let the song soundtrack a massacre. They told him the ending and swore him to secrecy. He kept that promise, even from his own wife. When the episode aired and cut abruptly to black on the words "Don't Stop," the internet exploded overnight. That 26-year-old album track became the best-selling digital catalog song of the download era, moving over 13 million copies. A song that was basically forgotten, resurrected by a TV finale nobody even understood. Number 6. Hotel California, Eagles, 1976. Guitarist Don Felder came up with this song's entire foundation while sitting in a rented Malibu beach house, noodling on a 12-string guitar until a strange, Spanish-sounding chord progression fell out. He recorded it onto a cheap 4-track deck and mailed the tape to his bandmates, along with over a dozen other song sketches. Don Henley called back a few days later and said he liked the one that sounds like Mexican reggae, and that throwaway demo became the foundation for the band's most famous song. Almost a full year passed before they recorded it properly, and by then Felder had forgotten his own guitar part. He had to call his housekeeper back in California and have her hold the phone up to a cassette player just so he could relearn the solo he'd invented on the spot. Hotel California went to number 1, sparked decades of conspiracy theories about its lyrics, and won a Grammy, all built on a guitar riff its own writer nearly lost forever. Number 5, Rocket Man, Elton John, 1972. It's lonely out in space. For decades, fans assumed this song was Elton John and Bernie Taupin riding on the coattails of David Bowie's Space Oddity, which had come out a few years earlier. Taupin has always denied it. The real inspiration, he said, was a Ray Bradbury short story from 1951 called The Rocket Man, a story about astronauts for whom spaceflight had become just another exhausting 9-to-5 job, pulling them away from their families. Taupin even admitted he borrowed the title from a lesser-known 1970 folk song that used the same Bradbury story as its source, joking that songwriters are great thieves. And I think it's gonna be a long, long time. Elton John said the melody came together almost effortlessly, because a song about the vastness of space simply demanded a spacious, unhurried tune, and it became one of his most enduring hits, forever chasing off comparisons to a rival he never actually copied. Number 4, Livin' on a Prayer, Bon Jovi, 1986. Songwriter Desmond Child, guitarist Richie Sambora, and John Bon Jovi wrote this song together in the basement of Sambora's mother's house in New Jersey, and when it was finished, John Bon Jovi wasn't impressed. He said outright that he simply wasn't excited by it the day they wrote it, and at one point it was nearly left off the Slippery When Wet album entirely, tucked away as a hidden bonus track instead. Sambora insisted the song was a hit. So did Child. The band reworked it with a new bass line, a talkbox guitar hook, and played it for a room of real New Jersey teenagers to test the reaction before committing it to the final track list. Livin' on a Prayer became Bon Jovi's second consecutive number 1, and the song its own singer almost threw away is now widely considered the defining anthem of 80s rock. Number 3, Careless Whisper, George Michael, 1984. George Michael was only 17 years old, riding a bus to his part-time job as a cinema usher, when the famous saxophone melody arrived fully formed in his head. He carried that melody around for months before it ever touched tape. The song became so personal that in the UK, it was released as George Michael's first true solo single, even though in America, executives credited it to Wham, featuring George Michael, worried that dropping the duo's name too soon would hurt momentum. Getting the saxophone right took far longer than anyone expected. Reports say roughly a dozen different saxophonists were brought in before the label finally landed on the take everyone recognizes today. Careless Whisper hit number 1 on both sides of the Atlantic, sold in the millions, and quietly announced that the boy from Wham was about to become one of pop's biggest solo stars. Number 2, Sweet Child O' Mine, Guns N' Roses, 1987. This entire song began as a joke. Guitarist Slash was just warming up before rehearsal, fooling around with what he called a silly, circus-sounding riff, not even trying to write anything real. Guitarist Izzy Stradlin heard it and told him to keep playing, Bassist Duff McKagan and drummer Steven Adler joined in, and within about an hour, that joke riff had become a full arrangement, one that Slash himself has admitted he considered too soft, too sappy, for a hard rock band like theirs. Upstairs, singer Axl Rose heard the music through the walls and grabbed a poem he'd been writing about his girlfriend at the time, Erin Everly, finishing the lyrics practically overnight. The song Slash, once wanted cut from the album, became Guns N' Roses' only #1 hit, and one of the most recognizable guitar intros in the history of rock music. Number 1. Rolling in the Deep, Adele, 2011. Adele walked into the studio the day after a painful breakup, wanting to write something quiet and sorrowful, a slow, wounded ballad to match exactly how she felt. Producer Paul Epworth refused. He told her flatly that they were not writing a ballad. He wanted something fierce, something with teeth. Adele has said she was furious in the moment, practically ready to fight him on it. Instead of arguing further, she stayed curled up on the studio couch with her dog in her lap and simply started singing over the track Epworth was building, capturing the whole performance in just 2 takes, without even standing up. That 3-hour, breakup-fueled afternoon produced Rolling in the Deep, 7 weeks at #1, a career-defining hit, and the song that turned heartbreak into one of the most powerful comebacks in modern pop history.